Hi, my name is Pablo Serrano, and I'll be talking to you today about artificial sweeteners. So, it's pretty widely known that excessive sugar intake is detrimental to a healthy lifestyle. Sugar can cause cavities and it can increase your waistline pretty substantially. In order for consumers to combat this, they have been purchasing things called artificial sweeteners. And these things have some pretty crazy scientific names sometimes. They go by saccharins, aspartame, sucralose, dozens of others, but you probably know them better by their brand names like Sweet and Low, Equal, and Splenda. The claim to fame is that they're zero calorie or low calorie, but do they have zero consequences? Many long-term observational studies have shown that artificial sugar intake may correlate with weight gain. These studies follow participants for years, possibly even decades, just to see what these substances are doing to them. Doctors will usually, or researchers will usually do baseline data checks just to see where the individual starts in the study. So they'll look up like height, weight, and they'll usually calculate like BMI with that. And they might look at other things like biochemical measures such as blood glucose levels, your blood sugar, or if it called for it, possibly insulin growth factor, but I don't think they did that in this study. It's just giving you examples. In the longitudinal studies that I did look at, though, they did usually ask the individual to have a food diary on record. In this food diary record, the researchers made it clear that any time that the individual consumed artificial sugar, that they should take it down in order to not skew observational data. So after initial instruction and initial baseline data, they go ahead and let the individuals go and live out their lives freely. And part of the study, they asked the individuals to come in for an incremental visit, whether it be 6 months, a year, 3 years. It was all variables in different studies that I looked at. But the methods might have been a little bit different, but all the results came the same in the studies that I looked at. Researchers did agree that weight gain and artificial sugar consumption do have a correlation. Not surprising at all. Along with the induced weight gain from the artificial sugars, the individuals that consistently maintained a diet filled with artificial sugar usually came back with a comorbidity such as type 2 diabetes or metabolic syndrome, as stated in the studies. Another reason to stay away from artificial sweeteners is that they affect the gut microbiota negatively. What's the gut microbiota, you ask? Basically, the simplest way I could put it is it's a community of microorganisms that inhabit your gut, and they perform a bunch of different functions. They help with digestion, absorption of nutrients. They even help educate your immune system on what's okay to attack and what's not. Other things, they also protect from pathogens as well. So in order for the gut microbiota to thrive, they have to have a certain environment and they have to have certain foods that nourish it. Well, artificial sweeteners are one of the things that tamper with the gut microbiota's environment, specifically sucralose. Sucralose, when it's broken down, actually turns into formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is a bacterial serial killer, basically. And this ruins your gut microbiota, which inhibits its functionality, which was found in the study that I looked at. Something else that was very interesting in the studies I've looked at was in 1991, Canada introduced sucralose. It was the very first country to do so. A couple years later, after when consumption went up in Canada, the cases of irritable bowel disease increased. And fast forward to 1993, Australia introduced sucralose. Same pattern happened. 1998, USA did the same thing, and continuously on with every other country that started introducing sucralose to their country, also known as Splenda, by the way. So just another reason why artificial sweeteners shouldn't be in your diet, maybe not too much at least. I feel like more research should be done on artificial sweeteners. With all the emerging data that suggests that artificial sweeteners aren't the best for human consumption, I feel like we should stray away from that, possibly even ban them. As there's actually a case back in 1970 with Sweet and Low. Sweet and Low actually had to change their formula because of a substance called cyclamate. And cyclamate was actually researched, and they found that cyclamate induced brain tumors. Unfortunately, it was just a rat study, but I guess the research was strong enough for the USA to ban it on human consumption as well. So should probably take note from that and watch what we eat. And I just want to also say the FDA does allow the consumption of artificial sweeteners, but that's just a safety issue. You should look at food from a health perspective, as the foods that you put into your body basically make you. If it has any detrimental effects, you probably shouldn't be eating it. So with that, I leave you the decision whether to keep on eating artificial sweeteners or stray away from them, as I suggest. Thank you for your time.